Now let's begin the story.
I ain't your average cat. I slap box with lions. Ever since the 5th grade, kick ball with tires. Made a mini fortune off a ripped off appliance. Money wanted stove back, hit dog with irons. Boogie need to find God. Shit, dog, I'm trying. That's why I robbed the Deacon house. Man, quit your lying. I did it and do it again and then repeat.
H-Town's finest 16 Shots podcast.
I'm lightning with the blam blam.
Audio is on. We are recording. How are you doing today?
As a professional, you know what I'm saying, I'm used to being able to see myself, you know what I mean? The great Bill Baez told me one time, you know, always be aware of all things.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Right.
As more professional we get,
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be able to see yourself. There's going to be someone on the other end of the camera who will have a screen, who will make sure that, you know, we're looking as good as God created us to be.
I'm not talking about how it looks. I'm just talking about being able to see, you know, just being able to, you know, if I had a teleprompter there, I'll be reading with teleprompter, you know what I'm saying? It would just help me focus on my, you know what I mean? I would be, not necessarily, you know, I'd have a reference point.
No. At least you would like to have some sort of monitor so you can kind of see where you're at.
Exactly.
See your hand gestures.
Exactly.
Make sure you're not doing anything offensive.
Yeah.
Pointing
You know
the middle
what I'm
finger
saying?
at people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does your, like, my finger...
I'm double jointed.
So you're doing that on purpose. You can
No.
You can straighten your finger out and do that.
Like, that's as straight as it gets. You can see. I'm double jointed.
Now, my fingers are crooked. But that's from being, you know...
I might have some damage from years of what's called it, but I mean this one is broken. I can't straighten that one out, but that one, yeah. I mean that's straight as I can make it go straight like that, I guess.
Yeah, the pinky broken over here, right? So it's like fat down here, and then it,
But you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can still block shots.
Man, it's been a minute, bro. You know,
it's been an eventful couple of weeks too, man. A lot of stuff that happened, man.
We ain't talked since before the Super Bowl. You know what I'm talking about?
That debauchery, however you...
Oh, so you ain't like it? I thought it was a good game up until the last minute and 48 seconds.
I mean, was it a good game?
It was a good game. It was a decent game. It was a competitive game.
Yeah, it's competitive.
Yeah, you know, competitive. It wasn't like a blowout. You know what I'm saying? Both teams seemed equally matched. Both defenses seemed equally outmatched.
Nah, I think second half, man, Eagles defense fell apart, bro.
They fell apart, or the Kansas City's offense just come to life.
No, they fell apart, man.
Like for some reason they couldn't guard that little like to the corner of the end zone.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Like a lot of times I get into conversations or get into, you know, coaching conversations with, you know, other football, basketball, even baseball people, right? And there's a difference between playing the game, understanding the game, and coaching the game, right? And there's nuances to coaching that you can see. Oh, he got out-coached. Like Andy Reid out-coached. Oh, Andy Reid and Bieniemy, they out-schemed them. It wasn't like they did something spectacular where somebody caught the ball with one hand falling away or somebody did something. No, man, we ran a play to check y'all temperature and y'all playing this way. Oh, y'all doing that? Okay, watch this. We're going to run the same play over here and pull this linebacker over here and run this dude wide open. Y'all don't have our coach, you know what I'm saying?
And Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy definitely out-schemed and out-coached the Eagles in the second half.
Yeah.
I saw a conspiracy out there about the field. They were complaining about slippage on the field.
Yeah.
Why is all this paint out here?
Yeah.
I want to say it was real grass this time. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But so the groundsman, the guy who was in charge of the field for the NFL Super Bowl, works out of Kansas City.
Yeah.
So he's their groundskeeper, field keeper.
Yeah.
And they talked about how the Chiefs might have had a slight advantage because they came out, they never changed their cleats. And the Philadelphia Eagles team, they had to change their cleats multiple times. And then they even did a breakdown about how many times Eagles defensive players slipped versus Chiefs defensive players. And I think it was like 40-something% of the Eagles players were slipping on defense opposed to like 13 or 14% of Kansas City Chiefs Do you think knowing that grounds person, working with them on a weekly basis and knowing what length cleats I need to have in played a part?
No.
No? Okay.
Because it happens every year. It's the same thing every year.
Do you think okay.
The process of making the field goes far beyond one day. It's a 2-year process of making the field it's a 2-year process of making the field for the Super Bowl. So even if he is from Kansas City, he would have to know 2 years ago that my team's playing. Secondly, the paint on the field is the issue. It ain't the field, it's the paint on the field. And every year they put paint on the field or they do something like this is the same issue every year. They do something to the field. And then thirdly, Rihanna is more of the reason why the field had issues more than the paint because of all that has delayed the game starting. I mean, they had delayed the halftime because of all the extra they put on the field for the whatever they did. And then afterwards, you saw more slippage after halftime than you did in the first half.
Well, Jalen Hurts changed his cleats in the first quarter.
His fault.
Like a lot of them changed their cleats within that first quarter.
Their fault.
Secondly, I think I read, I didn't read this. I was listening to this on Pat McAfee's show. I think the fields guy was there for 6 months prepping that field leading up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's 2 years. They grow it for a year and a half, or grow it for a year, and then they do some other stuff for like 6 months, and then they prep the field for 6 months. So it's a 2-year process. So, like, nah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not debating that. I don't know.
Yeah, either way it goes.
Well, hell, they didn't prep the field in NRG for 2 years. That bullshit ass debacle. That was the same field the Texans played on.
Which one?
The Super Bowl.
Okay, it's the indoor field. That's why.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing in Arizona. The only difference is, so the Texans would bring it in on pallets and put the pallets together.
Yeah.
Well, the Arizona Cardinals Stadium, they have something built in, and it's kind of fire too. The whole fucking side opens up, and they can slide the entire field out and slide it back in.
Are you sure they didn't prep the field for 2 years for the Texans? I would double check on
Nah, because it was the same bullshit ass complaints that everybody was complaining about, that palletized, put the field together shit, and you can see the fucking creases in the field. It was the worst field to play on. Same field that fucked up Jadeveon Clowney's knee, the same field that fucked up the punter's knee.
And so, I mean, I don't. It sounds like it's not the field. It sounds it's it's the field per se, but I don't like. So when you talk about fields, the bottom under the field is as important as the top of the field. So if you have space under there, that's how you get those gaps because you'll have you know what I'm saying.
Well, see how the Texans grow there because that shit is like a not every stadium is like this, but some of them is like a blended sod. So in Houston, they take it out in pieces. I guess similar to how you would piece together a basketball court, because they do piece together some basketball courts in certain places. Well, here, from my understanding, it's on pallets. They grow the grass on pallets and then they piece it together like a puzzle.
Yeah,
that's how they get it in. Well, Arizona, when they built that stadium, they wanted to be able to fully grow their grass outside without pulling the field apart. So that whole field literally slides out and slides in. So it's grown like a normal, I guess, field you could have outside, and they just slide that bitch inside. It's pretty fire, actually.
Yeah, I would have to do some more research on the Texans field on how it works for the Super Bowl, because if they did the same process that they do for the regular Texans, then that's on the NFL. It's on the NFL, not the teams.
I mean, are they growing it somewhere and flying it in, or am I just growing a field for 2 years and saying don't touch it? That sounds like extreme.
I mean, that might be it. They got money. They got a bunch of money. So
I'm not down there. It just sounds kind of extreme. If it was me, I would just use the field that's there and, hey, paint that shit, put them Super Bowl logos on there, take that trash ass Arizona logos off. Boo, you niggas couldn't make it to the Super Bowl anyway.
Oh, I'm 100% sure that they grew it somewhere else though. 100% sure about that part. Like I said, it's a 2-year process. It's a 2-year process, and it's always been a 2-year process for the last 20-something years.
No, that's cool. I'm not.
What else? So yeah, like I said, they got a coach, man. That's what part that I ain't like. It's like, dang, how you get to this point, man? And it really just proves a lot of my points that I say about the human element. Like, What?
Go ahead, man.
You can do all these things, man. You can have, but the human element is so unpredictable, man.
Which was the human element this time?
The nigga got out coached. Like you quote unquote the bet, like the Eagles.
You lost by 3, so I don't know if you got out coached that
Oh,
bad.
man, you was up. You really you should have been up by 20 at halftime, but you was up at halftime, and they literally, like, I know you seen the break. They literally ran the same play 4 times. And 2 of them times was literally dummy plays to get to see. That's like boxing. I'm gonna throw a jab to see what you do. Oh, he ain't ducking the jab. Oh, he doing that to the jab. Wow, pow, and score.
I mean, it is good coaching. If I can run several different plays out of the same look, and you don't know what's coming, that's great coaching. Yes,
It was the same. Like, it was a check play to see what you were doing, and oh, this is what y'all doing. So I ran the same exact play again. And ran that same and just threw the ball here. And then the same thing again. Oh, y'all still doing that with y'all linebackers? Okay, boom, watch this. Boom. And that was from the analysts that I've listened to and from watching the game. I don't watch the second half. But I listened to the first couple quarters and watched the second half. But they said the same thing. They exposed the Eagles linebackers weren't good enough. That was the hole per se in their defense was their linebackers. And that's what they exposed. And that's when if you look at the scores, it was on linebackers.
okay.
Yeah.
Is Travis Kelce that good?
Travis Kelce's good.
Let me ask you a question. Is Travis Kelce any better than Shannon Sharp was? Think hard now before you answer.
Is Travis Kelce better?
Because they're calling Kelce the GOAT. They're calling Kelce the GOAT tight end. He has the numbers. If you're just going by numbers, he does have the numbers.
Numbers always lie, though.
That's not true.
That's 100% true.
I can't agree with that. So he has the numbers.
Yeah.
And
But the numbers don't mean nothing, though.
the numbers do mean something.
What they mean?
He produced.
But
If numbers don't mean anything, then why do they keep stats? So numbers mean something.
No. But I'm saying numbers mean something relative to the time period, right? So you think Shannon Sharp wouldn't have had them numbers if threw the ball as much as they do? Like, just taking all that out of it, in 1990, the middle of the field was different. Like, you couldn't go across the middle of the field because the rules were different, right?
Well, that's why Shannon Sharp, to me, don't get the credit he should, because Shannon Sharp was doing all of that shit then. Even in a more run heavier NFL, he still put up numbers.
That's what I'm saying. So you comparing somebody who was playing with a handicap versus somebody who playing with a handicap in their favor. Like Travis Kelce, you can come across the middle of the field knowing that the worst thing gonna happen, I might get hit hard, right? And knowing they're not going to my knees too. Knowing that these two things are illegal, whereas Shannon Sharp come across the middle of the field knowing they can take my head off or I might take my knees out, and it's legal. So
yeah, but I mean,
what you mean? I mean,
numbers count. So if that's the case, so okay, all right, okay. If I go about that logic,
yeah.
I mean, you believe Brady's the GOAT, right? Yeah. I've heard you call him the GOAT.
Yeah, he's the greatest quarterback we've seen.
But
in our lifetime.
it's only for numbers. But what if
No,
I
it's not. It's
What
for
else?
win. He didn't have no. It's for wins and it's for intangibles, because Brady's numbers ain't out the roof compared to Michael Vick, compared to some of these other guys. He what, 87 yards winning the Super Bowls. But he game managed and he made the right plays at the right time. His first 3 Super Bowls wasn't on his arm. Wasn't they Benetarian wins?
One of them was defense. One of them was running. Okay, a few with the kicker.
I'm saying the win.
What I'm saying is he does have the stats though.
No, not all the time.
No, he has stats because he played so long. If you look at a comparison of stats, and the only other quarterback that you truly can say is the GOAT outside of Brady would be Montana. But even when you put up Montana's stats versus Brady's stats, his stats are slightly better, large part because he played longer. So if you look at the stats,
What do you tell?
Brady has the stats to show he's the GOAT.
You talking about stats?
I'm talking about like pass
numbers.
Listen.
Yeah.
Pass percentage, total yards, passing touchdowns to interceptions ratio. Of course, he has the rings. Of course, he has the accolades. So yeah, but if you look at yards, touchdowns, interceptions, QBR, pass percentage, all of that, it's top tier. It's the highest, and he's done it for the longest.
But what? No, but I'm saying, but why? Okay, So this is a preference to an individual. So I'm saying, because you're telling me that he has some of these numbers as far as the mass, the amount of numbers. But if I was great for 8 years, okay, let's put staying in football. I'm not going too far, but Barry Sanders versus Emmitt Smith, right? Emmitt Smith is smashing Barry Sanders in stats.
Yeah,
because he played that long. Yeah. But do you think that Barry Sanders is not a better running back than Emmitt Smith?
I think longevity has to matter as well.
No, I'm asking you. You
I answered that question.
So you're saying that
I think longevity has to matter as well. So if you ask me who was the better back,
yeah,
NFL wise, team wise, I'm gonna tell you it was Emmitt Smith.
You get out of here. Get out of here. So
you
get out of here.
Right, you give me a tangible reason or tangible proof that Barry Sanders is better.
Because Barry Sanders in his 10 years, he was better than Emmitt Smith all those years they played together. 1, 2, Barry Sanders didn't have some of those intangibles as far. I'm not intangible. Some of those advantages that Emmitt Smith had. Emmitt Smith had one of the greatest O-lines in offensive history. Right?
Is that his fault?
I didn't say it's his fault, but that's a fact. So you can't emit certain facts and then play, okay, well, saying that Barry Sanders was the greatest running back all time is saying that if you put that production that he had behind that other production, that the production meaning the line and the talent that, because you couldn't zoom in on Emmitt Smith for the Cowboys because you got to worry about Michael Irvin, you got to worry about Harper, you got to worry about the tight end, you got to worry about, they even had Moose come out the backfield, you got Troy Aikman, you got an all-star cast, and you have a defense that's standing up. Barry Sanders ain't had none of that.
So because of that, if I'm telling you I'm looking at stats, Emmitt Smith is a better running back than Barry Sanders was. He did it for a longer period of time. He has the yardage, he has the touchdowns, he has the rings. Emmitt Smith is a better back.
You're just saying that
if I got to go by the black and white, what's in front of us?
But what I'm saying is what you're saying is not incorrect, but it's a kind of short-sighted and small. And when you're looking at it, it's like me saying
it's not short-sighted and small. If that's the case, then Warren Moon's the GOAT. Warren Moon's the best quarterback to play. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you why. If we're gonna go by what could have happened, then Warren Moon is the GOAT, best quarterback to ever play because of the 4 years he had to play in Canada. So if you take just the years he didn't play in Canada alone,
okay,
give him a couple more years, he blows everybody's numbers out the water probably. Now, if you take those 4 years that he had to play in Canada, because they weren't allowing black quarterbacks to play in the NFL as starting quarterbacks, 100% he would be the GOAT. Matter of fact, if I give Warren Moon the New England Patriots,
allowing black quarterbacks to play.
Why did Warren Moon have to go to Canada and play 4 years? Warren Moon was one of the best quarterbacks coming out of college when he came out.
Because
Warren Moon went to Canada to play 4 years because they were blackballing black quarterbacks.
Not all of them.
That's fact, bro.
What year did Doug Williams?
Doug Williams. Let me finish. Doug Williams.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, bro.
What year did Doug Williams win the Super Bowl?
It was before Warren Moon got in the league.
But what year was it?
Before he got in the league.
It was what, 87, 88?
I'm not sure what year it was.
Okay. Warren Moon came in the league in what, 90-something? Or graduated from Washington what year?
I'm not sure.
Maybe 4 or 5 years after Doug Williams?
Sure.
Were there starting quarterbacks in the NFL before, after Doug Williams?
Name them. I don't know.
There were. I don't know off the top of my head. But I don't know off my top of my head, but there were.
Who?
You
got a phone? Google.
I can Google that? Okay, let me see.
Last time you told us to Google something, you was 100% sure it was correct and you were 100% false.
Okay.
Now, I'm not telling you there weren't. I remember Doug Williams. Then I remember Warren Moon. I remember Randall Cunningham. I remember that class. Let me see who else I remember coming in. But that's beyond the point. What I'm saying is, if you want to do that, then Warren Moon the GOAT. Or Marino's the GOAT. If Marino doesn't get hurt and has weapons that I don't know, Brady had or style system Brady played in, he'll be the GOAT.
Well, the first black quarterback in the NFL was 1923. Let's start there. But
come on, let's not argue semantics. I didn't say that there weren't black quarterbacks in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me see.
It's Black History Month, bro. It's it's literally like a whole doc you can go watch that explains this whole situation about Warren Moon, why he had to go to Canada and play for 4 years, all of that shit.
Vince Evans. Warren Moon Cunningham, Reggie Collier, Doug Williams was 87. Warren Moon. What is this? Okay, yeah. So Warren Moon, Doug Williams, Vince Evans, Rodney Peete, Jeff Blake, Dave Mays, there's Parnell Dickinson, JJ. They wanted Warren Moon to be a wide receiver because it was racist in the context. But going back to the numbers thing, what I'm saying is, what you're saying, because I have these numbers, these gaudy numbers by longevity, qualifies me to be better than somebody who had gaudy numbers in a shorter span of time, like Emmitt Smith. And
I'm just saying longevity matters.
It matters, but in the same breath, like how many years would? In fact, like, okay, how many? I'm gonna ask you this: how many things do you take out of account when you're talking about what matters? Because now, if longevity matters, how many years was Emmitt Smith playing for nothing? When he was just getting 4 yards to carry just to put numbers up.
That was like Arizona year, bro.
He had 2 years in Arizona, but also some years in Dallas he was playing for nothing. The first 3 years, what you mean?
The first 3 years in his career he was playing for nothing.
They was like
Get the fuck out of here.
They ain't win a game the whole year.
Get out of here, bro.
Right?
Shit.
Am I right?
How much success? Time out. If Barry Sanders is so great, which Barry Sanders is great,
yeah.
How much success did the Detroit Lions have then? If you're gonna say he was playing for nothing for his first 2 or 3 seasons,
yeah.
because the Cowboys wasn't winning,
yeah.
then okay. What the fuck was Barry Sanders doing? Because they obviously wasn't winning in Detroit either.
But
so that's a wash.
But I'm asking you, do you think that the years, because Barry Sanders saw some playoffs, I'm pretty sure his team was 7-8 or 8-8 or in that range. But in the same, like, once again, when you talk about that, you have to include that Barry Sanders has Scott Mitchell for a quarterback for a long time. Barry Sanders didn't have no defense. Emmitt Smith had Hall of Famers all around him. So some of the pressures of, hey, when I hand this thing off, or when I fake this handoff to Barry Sanders, then the defense can't react the same to Barry Sanders as they can to Emmitt Smith because of Michael Irvin. Because if
you're asking me who was the better talented back,
yeah,
I would tell you it's Barry Sanders. If you're asking me who was the better back over a period of time, I'm gonna tell you it's Emmitt Smith.
So you're saying if you're saying that
talent is talent. So let me finish. Talent is talent. I could tell you that Tracy McGrady was more talented than LeBron James, right?
I believe so.
Or I can tell you Tracy McGrady was more talented.
Yeah.
Or a prime example, you could say Brandon Roy was more talented than James Harden. You could say that. No, let me finish. You can make the argument to say that Brandon Roy was more talented than James Harden.
How so? I'm asking you, how so?
I'm going by talent-wise. Let's say potential.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro. Stop trying to argue semantics.
I'm not. You just told me this guy that was more talented. I'm like,
time out.
Yeah.
First off, let's keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck. Yeah.
We're talking about example purposes only.
Yeah.
The argument that you're arguing is Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith. I ain't here to argue nobody's more talented than James Harden.
Okay.
Because that you think James Harden.
Go ahead.
I said for example purposes. I could argue that Brandon Roy was more talented than James Harden.
You can't.
But when you look at the numbers, you got to say, well, James Harden was the better player over longevity. It's not Brandon Roy's fault that he didn't have cartilage in his knees, so his career got cut short. But over a period of time, James Harden had the longer career, has put up the bigger numbers because of that being some of it his longevity. It's the same thing with Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders. If you ask me who was the more talented back, I would tell you it's Barry Sanders. Probably Thurman Thomas, then Emmitt Smith. But who had the longevity and the numbers, it's Emmitt Smith. Some of it could be Emmitt Smith's running style. Shit. He had blockers, and once he got past the blockers, a solo linebacker not taking down Emmitt Smith. A DB is not taking down Emmitt Smith.
I guess I wish. So what I hear you saying is that based on longevity, he's better.
I said based on the overall career, and longevity has to be part of it. Same thing with Tom Brady. You can't say that, well, Montana is the GOAT. Well, Brady's only better because he played longer. Well, Brady's longevity played a part in him being better than Montana because he was able to play longer.
Okay, one question.
Same thing with LeBron.
Hold on, one question.
Go ahead.
One question. If I said, hey, man, we got we're in football heaven. Or we're in football godland.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's at their prime.
Yep.
You get to pick one back to be on your team. Are you picking Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders?
I got to pick one back to be on my team. Is it a complete team?
You got to pick one back to be on your team. That's it. All we're doing is picking backs right now. You can pick one back. Who you picking?
Earl Campbell.
But if you're not picking Emmitt Smith.
I said I'm picking Earl Campbell.
But you're not picking Emmitt Smith, though.
Yeah. You asked me any running back.
Okay. So
you didn't tell me out to two. You said any running back.
Okay, watch this. So you proving my point, though.
I'm not proving your point.
What's my point? What's my point?
The point you were trying to make was that Barry Sanders was better than Emmitt Smith.
No, but I ain't my point. My point is, when you say this person is better and had a better career, that's one conversation. But the better back is the one you're gonna pick. I'm not gonna pick you to say if I want to win. I'm not saying, well, over a period of time, you're going to have better numbers, so I'm going to pick you. I'm going to pick you to say, we're going to win with you and get to the Super Bowl. I got a better chance to win with you because you're better, you're more talented.
Oh, shit, if you want to do that, it's Emmitt Smith because he's proven that. So it's Emmitt Smith.
So, no, but I'm saying, but just now, you just said, if you had to pick one, you picked Earl Campbell.
But time out. You said any back.
Any back. You picked Earl Campbell.
You said any back.
You said
so if you no. You said any back.
Why
so
you say Emmitt Smith?
Because the conversation that we had previously wasn't about any back.
Okay.
The conversation that we were having previously was about Barry Sanders versus Emmitt Smith.
Okay.
That's the conversation we were
out
having.
of Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, you can pick. You had to.
I'm picking Emmitt Smith.
Why you pick Emmitt Smith?
Because I feel like I can do more with Emmitt Smith.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, there's no evidence to prove you can do more with Emmitt Smith because the only thing that Emmitt Smith did better than Barry Sanders was play longer. That's it.
That's not true.
Okay, pull the numbers up.
He ran between the tackles better than Barry
Pull
Sanders.
the numbers up.
If you pull the numbers up, Emmitt Smith's numbers are better than Barry's.
No, he's not because in those.
So you mean to tell me that Barry Sanders' numbers, career numbers, are better than Emmitt Smith's career numbers?
We can't listen.
I'm asking you that. No, because you said time out. You just told me to
answer.
You just told me to pull the numbers.
Yeah, let me answer.
And I said, yeah, pull the numbers.
Let me answer.
Let me finish.
Okay,
you said pull the numbers. I said go ahead, pull the numbers.
I am.
Emmitt Smith's career numbers are going to be better than Barry's.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if we're gonna pull numbers, I'm not gonna pull numbers from years when I didn't play. That don't make sense. That don't make no sense whatsoever. If I'm comparing me and you play 5 years and I play 10 years, we're gonna compare the 5 to 5, right?
Fam, that ain't how that works.
Hold up, I'm asking you a question. So you telling me I'm gonna compare some stuff like
if me and you play basketball,
yeah,
and then we're gonna get off this, and we want to compare numbers,
yeah. To me and you,
and we're comparing the careers at this point.
No, we're comparing. No,
we're not. Now you're trying to move.
We're comparing players, not careers.
Well, that's how you would compare.
No,
but that is the measuring stick.
It's not.
If I'm comparing two players' careers,
no, I'm comparing two players, not careers. The two players.
How do you compare the two players if I don't look at the career stats?
Because what I'm saying. Like you might play in the offense that caters to you. I might play in the offense in any sport. It might the player, the actual player. That's why players get traded because, like, you know what? The way you play works better over here, and we can do more with you over here.
Okay.
They're not using you right.
Okay.
You are an all-star talent.
What they got to do
put
with
you
the
over
price of tea
here.
in China?
Hold up. Okay, so now when you were over here, they were like, man, you was trash. I can name 20,000 players that they happened to. They're like, over here, you was almost out the league. We trade you over here in this system. Oh, damn, look at Lamar Odom. Look what he's doing. Look at what's his name? Dennis Schroeder. Look at what's the dude? He was at the league a couple years ago. Look at Ben Simmons right now. Over here, you were flourishing. Over here, you don't even play no more. It's systems. So I'm comparing player to player, not career to career. The career in a team sport is very contingent upon what goes on around you. Actual player to player, meaning if I take that individual player and what he can do.
Let me ask you a real question.
Yeah.
If I'm truly, and then we're literally getting off of this. If I can compare Barry Sanders to Emmitt Smith.
The player to player.
Time out. If I'm comparing Barry Sanders to Emmitt Smith.
Yes, player to player.
If I'm comparing, stop putting your sauce on it.
No, because you keep saying longevity. That's why I
ain't said nothing. I'm
go ahead.
asking you a question.
Okay.
If I am comparing Barry Sanders to Emmitt Smith.
Yes, sir.
How do I do that comparison? What measuring stick am I going to use that I can tangibly hold and look at for that comparison?
Okay, and after this, believing, right?
Go ahead. Yeah, sure,
I know you can rebut, but I'm saying.
I mean, I know what you're doing. Go ahead.
No. I'm asking.
I'm not going to rebut at all.
Okay. What I was saying is, I would compare what that player meant to that franchise, what that player had going on around him, who he played with, and what he did with what he had, compared to. And Emmitt Smith's not a bad player. He's not.
No, take the Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders. How you feel about it away.
Yeah.
I just want to know how you compare these two players.
Because like I'm saying, as from a coach's perspective, or from a somebody's looking at the game as a in a whole.
It would be an analytical perspective.
As a whole, I'm like, okay, well, if I had taken this guy and his ability and his talent and put him in this system, then who knows what he would have done. Not saying that he'd have done better, but I'm saying when he had less, when he had less, look what he did with less. Look what he had to do to get his number, and he was still top 10 for 10 years. I might want to say he was in the top 5 of yards per in his 10-year run. I want to say he was number 1 for most of those 10 years, with no line, with no quarterback, with no receivers, with a horrible defense, meaning my defense is bad, so we're always playing from behind, so we should be throwing it, but our receivers are so bad, I'm running it, as opposed to Emmitt Smith, where I got the playmaker out here. So once I get past that linebacker, ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody sitting on a run. When I got as a safety, as a DB, I can't sit on no run. When I got Michael Irvin, I gotta go double team that. So he run a go route and I run that way. I got number space. It's the system. It's the players. That has a lot to do with what's going on. So as a player individually, I'm gonna take this guy over there. Now numbers, you can't give them they note on the numbers on the yeah that counts, but it can't be a determining factor because there's so many things that go into that.
So for you, the determining factor is something that you can't tangibly prove.
I can't prove it. You can prove that Barry Sanders did. Look, I can say you that there were probably maybe 1 or 2 other all NBA, all NFL players on Barry Sanders' team his whole career. I can say for a fact that Emmitt Smith had a team full of all NFL, a team full of Hall of Famers. So you telling me that you expect somebody with no Hall of Famers to have the same production as a guy who had a team full of Hall of Famers? That's tangible, bro. You think that Troy Aikman being on the field has no effect on Emmitt Smith getting the ball or being open or being able to catch a swing pass or being able to run up the hole, or I got all-star, that don't have no effect at all, and Barry Sanders got Scott Mitchell?
How do you know that Barry Sanders could run behind that line?
Because he ran behind nothing. So you telling me I can get these 1,000-yard seasons behind guys who you've never and probably won't ever hear of again, besides that 1 year they played or 2 years they played? You think I can't get that kind of production? I showed you at Oklahoma, Oklahoma, right? I showed you Oklahoma what I could do when I had people in front of me.
He was behind Thurman Thomas.
And when Thurman Thomas left, what did he do?
He had a good season, then he left.
And then he went, right. So I showed
he was a better returner in Oklahoma State than he was a running back, though.
But I showed you at Oklahoma when I had talent in front of you.
His running style actually wasn't running behind blockers. So he kind of had an elusive running style where he thrived more when he didn't run behind his blockers. But if you would just watch a Detroit Lions game,
yeah,
Barry Sanders will roll into the fourth quarter with like 20 yards, 30 yards, and then he'll get a break, and he'll break more for like 98 yards, or he'll break more for like 80 yards, because that was his running style. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying that was his running style. So I watch football.
I do too.
And it's well, you don't, because
I don't. You try to tell me Barry Sanders going to,
because you told me you don't like football. You told me
I said I don't like football now.
You told me you thought it should be outlawed. So
now,
I would assume
now this is
that you didn't break down football like that.
You went.
So what you got?
I thought we moving on now. Conference stuff. We can talk football the whole part, bro.
I'm not talking football with someone who doesn't like football.
What you mean?
So what you got next?
We can talk about Haywood Jeffries and we can talk about football.
What you got next?
I don't like football. I don't like it now as an adult.
What you got next, man? Boy, this guy here, man.
This
you can't throw numbers out the window. That's all.
I didn't say that.
That's
not what I said. That's not what I said.
What you got next?
I just want to stamp this right here.
I don't want you to stamp it.
Yeah, how you gonna tell me that? Yeah, I'm gonna stamp it. This guy over here said that Emmitt Smith is a better running back than Barry Smith.
I did say that.
That's all. That's all. We're gonna leave it at that.
I did say that Emmitt Smith was a better back than.
We can leave it at that. Something else happened, man. Rihanna did the Super Bowl, man.
How did you feel about the halftime show? Were you a fan of it?
I felt like it was unfair.
Why was it unfair?
Oh, not unfair. I felt like
unfair. What was unfair about it?
I felt like. Okay, let me say this is my assumption. This is totally my assumption. I could be wrong, but I don't think that going into Super Bowl. In fact, I don't know. I don't know if it was a marketing ploy. I don't know if they thought that would be going to do the Super Bowl performance. First off, I don't think she should have been called to do it in the first place. Let's start there. That's how I feel. So I can feel that way. It's okay. Secondly, going to do the Super Bowl pregnant, I don't know if that's particularly fair to the fans or to the performance.
Well, they announced this over a year ago. Literally after the last Super Bowl, this was announced.
Yeah.
She was unpregnant.
Yeah.
She's 4 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So in the midst of all of this, she got pregnant again.
Yeah.
You already had too much marketing and everything out there for her not to do it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that, like, it's cool. I had no issue with the pregnant Rihanna performance.
I did. I'm going to tell you why I had an issue. Not an issue. Why I felt like it wasn't fair. I don't have an issue with it. I said I don't think, because I don't think that the fans were expecting to have that type of a show. Meaning, what did you think you were getting? And we have to be honest and fair, not you and me, but just the world. When you heard Rihanna, what did you think? These big songs, these big performances. She's known for having choreography and these type of things going on. You thought you were going to have a show. You didn't think you were going to have somebody standing in one spot doing a two-step for 13 minutes. Even though it's a short show, you still thought certain things, one. And then two, I think that there are other artists who are of a grander stature and scale that haven't been on the Super Bowl that probably should have be, and not necessarily R&B, but maybe even rock or another genre that would have given a better performance.
So it sounds like you're saying, pregnant or not, you feel like there are other artists who deserve that shot that would have given a bigger performance than Rihanna did, even if she wasn't pregnant. Is what you're saying?
But yeah, that too.
I wouldn't say that. Rihanna is up there with the Beyoncés of the world. So if you feel like Beyonce is a big enough name to do the Super Bowl, which she is, if you feel like Jennifer Lopez was a big enough name to do the Super Bowl,
I don't.
Well, she was. You can't take that away.
She did it, but I don't think she was big enough.
She was big. It's Jennifer Lopez. She's
okay.
big enough. So and the funny thing is, she doesn't even sing all the songs. So Rihanna, first off, I don't think Rihanna wanted to do the shit in the first place. I think she just chose to do it. A lot of her fans were excited about her doing it because they thought this meant that they were getting new music. Y'all ain't finna get another Rihanna album for the rest of y'all life. Rihanna finna sell makeup and have kids with A$AP Rocky. I don't think she wanted to do it, but she did it, and she was pregnant, bro. And she had at least 80 dancers out there for your choreography needs. And, she let us know she had a Fenty makeup out there, bro. She was in all red. She did a very pregnant twerk. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
It was very lackluster, but I feel
exactly.
I feel like it was. I would rather see that than I would rather see a Rihanna. It still was an enjoyable Rihanna show. She did all the hits.
So let's go into that because this
I'm mad nobody came out with it. That was some whole shit.
This Jay-Z Rock Nation.
Oh, we're moving the goalposts.
No, we're changing the conversation. I'm not changing. I'm staying here.
No, we're changing. We're moving the Rock Nation.
I'm telling you about this entire Super Bowl thing, and Rihanna's involved in it. This, to me, it hasn't been a success. Rihanna, J-Lo, The Weeknd, Shakira, none of those are not Super Bowl performing artists. Those, like, you can't frame it no type of way to make it sound like when you start
Say
talking
that lineup again.
Rihanna, J-Lo, Shakira, Weeknd are not Super Bowl performing artists.
The only person I don't agree with is Rihanna. J-Lo.
So let me show you how it stacks up against. You think that the Rolling Stones and the Weeknd are in the same conversation?
Rolling Stones are all-time great.
Okay, do you think the Michael Jackson and Rihanna?
Stop it.
That's what I'm saying. No, how I'm stopping it?
That's Mike, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
It's Mike.
Prince and
Again, you're naming
these are
all-time
Super
greats.
Bowl. Janet Jackson.
All right, so now when you start getting to the Janet Jacksons of the world, now that's the set. I feel like you're dropping down a tier.
Watch this. How many albums does Rihanna have?
1, 2. I can count 3, but I'm not the biggest Rihanna fan.
Me either. But you putting, and that's what I was saying. They're putting artists who have 3 and 4 albums. Oh, and not even that, over a 10 years period against. Even if you say Janet Jackson's a step below, Janet Jackson been having albums since the 80s, bro.
I like how this rolls full circle because now you're bringing up longevity.
No, I'm bringing up production. Production.
Time out. Let me finish.
Yeah.
It's running full circle.
Yeah.
Because in this longevity, you're talking about the production of said longevity. Am I correct?
This is music, though.
I can listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You don't have to rebut everything until I finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not like I'm saying I dropped just 10 albums.
Yeah.
No, I've consistently dropped 10 years of fire.
Yeah.
Well, Rihanna pulls up and she might not have the 10 albums of fire.
Yeah.
But like when Rihanna drops, it's cult like almost, just like it is when Beyonce drops or Prince or
I disagree.
Okay.
No, I disagree because it's cult like with her fans, not with everybody.
But that's the whole everybody's not a Beyonce fan though.
No, but Rolling Stones.
Everybody's not a Rolling Stone fan.
That's what I'm saying. The reason why Rolling Stones and Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson and these other artists that fit in the Super Bowl mold have that cult following is because they have kids, parents, grandparents have all been a part of their movement, whereas Rihanna is condensed.
That's not true.
What you mean?
No, because there's kids that are part of Rihanna movement. There are young adults our age. There are people older than us. That's not true. Rihanna has touched broader audiences because of the extended industry she got into with her Fenty with her Fenty company. So
let
me finish. There are people who didn't get introduced into Rihanna until Fenty Beauty, and then she sings too, and now they're a fan of both Fenty Beauty and her music. So you can't say
that's a stretch.
That's not a stretch. That 100% is not a stretch.
So
you can actually say, yes, she 100% is big enough and should be on the stage. Now, if you said the performance was lackluster, I can agree with that. The performance was lackluster, but I'm not gonna say that she shouldn't have been on that stage.
That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying.
The performance just was lackluster.
That's what I'm saying. Michael Jackson could have went up there and stomped his feet 6 times, and it wouldn't have been lackluster.
Yeah, but Michael Jackson also wouldn't be a pregnant female.
Okay, Janet Jackson could have went up there and stomped her feet 3 times, and it wouldn't have been lackluster.
I'm pretty sure if Janet Jackson was pregnant, she wouldn't have had the same sensual Janet Jackson show that she normally has. Same thing.
You didn't hear what I said. I said she come up there and stomped her feet 3 times.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been lackluster because you know why? Because Janet Jackson would have pulled a song that our grandmothers remember. She'd have pulled a song and not remember as I remember our mother.
My grandmother never listened to Janet Jackson.
Our mothers can remember when Let's Wait a While came out and how old they were. Were they in their 20s or teens, or they can remember that. But they can remember when Miss You Much, and that they can remember when Rhythm Nation. They can remember these times all the way up to.
No song that Janet Jackson sings came out when my mom was in her teens.
No, she probably in her 20s.
Was not in her 20s, bro.
Your mom wasn't in the 20s and 80s?
Nah, my mom's pushing 70, homie.
My mom is almost 70 and in the 80s.
How old is Janet Jackson? Tell me, she's in her 50s.
She's in the 60s.
Janet is in her what?
She's 60. She's 60 because her marriage deal was she had to give her sheik a son before. So I think she's either 50 or 60.
I said she's in her 50s.
How old is Michael Jackson? How old would he be?
Mike would have been in the 60s, right? He would have just been pushing 60, I believe, sir.
I don't know. We could. I mean, I'll
Janet Jackson is like, auntie music right now, bro.
Janet Jackson might be 60.
I don't know, bro. I mean, you can Google it, but I'm just saying, I believe that she belonged on that stage and that venue. It might have been a lackluster show because she was pregnant. You didn't get the normal Rihanna show you would have gotten if she was not pregnant. What's your phone tell you about
56?
Age? Oh,
yeah. She's almost 60. Well, she's in her 50s.
Okay,
she's almost 60. But what I'm saying, and you got to think about this. She also put out music when she was like 18, so she was young when she started. But
Rihanna was too. Rihanna was 25 when she dropped her first album. Rihanna probably was like 19 or 20.
How old is right now?
Shit, I don't know. She's probably in the late 20s, early 30s, if that.
Hold up. So you make my point then?
What do you mean? I'm not making any point.
You're saying that she has a short period of time that she's been like.
Bro, fam, Rihanna is damn the hottest female in the industry under Beyonce.
I don't think so.
Shit.
In R&B?
But she's not even R&B. It's like a pop act.
Or in pop?
I don't even think you call it R&B.
You think she's a pop? She thinks she's the second highest pop act? You think like? Let me make it fair. I don't think Katy Perry should have been on that Super Bowl either. Though. So I can't
say that.
I think they're in the same. They don't have the Super Bowl is something that's it's a traditional thing. It's something that's made. It's a huge production. It's meant to encompass a large range of people, right? I don't think that, and this is you can call me wrong, whatever. I don't care. I mean, it's fair. I don't care, but it's fair for you to say I'm wrong. It's an opinion, but I'm saying that when we look back on it in 20 years, we're gonna be like, who? We're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's like The Weeknd. Oh yeah, but we ain't like Michael Jackson, Prince, the Rolling Stones. Like it's a different connotation. Like, and I understand some years are gonna hit, some years are gonna miss, right? But like some of these, like this last. This guy went out and said it's not enough diversity, right, in the West College, and then came out and in one of the biggest Afro-Latino cities in the country didn't have an Afro-Latino artist on the show.
When that was in Miami?
Yeah.
Who we had on show in Miami?
Shakira and J-Lo. In a city that has a lot of Afro-Latino and or just Latino superstars, world-renowned superstars, you ain't even bring one of them out.
I thought Bad Bunny came up.
Bad Bunny is from West College, bro. Bad Bunny's he's from.
Where? I thought
not from Miami.
I thought he's a Latin guy.
He's not from Miami.
You don't have to be from Miami. Time out. You don't have to be from Miami to represent a Latin culture.
Miami. No, but if when I was in Atlanta, I sure brought Big Boy out, didn't I?
Yeah,
like,
but you also had Travis Scott headlining.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is another one that shouldn't have headlined. But
I can agree with that.
What I'm saying is my thing is like. But
this. If you're telling me that I'm in a Latin city, Miami is a Latin city, right?
It's one of the largest.
Latin cities,
yeah.
Right?
With the cultural history of music.
Time out.
Yeah.
Did I not have a Latin representation in that Super Bowl? I'm asking.
Bad Bunny's not black either.
We didn't say black. We said Latin.
I said Afro-Latino. I said you're in one of the largest Afro-Latino cities in the country. And you didn't have any Afro. And your thing about diversity.
Time out. Yeah. Give me an Afro-Latino artist that you feel like is big enough to be on that stage. I can't name none, but it might be my ignorance.
Yeah, my Afro-Latino knowledge isn't up to par. I'd have to go look and see because I don't know about my top because I'm not a big.
I would assume though.
Yeah.
If you're talking about being on that stage where you can cross, all walks of life, where people know this person and there's notoriety.
Yeah.
Do you have one Afro-Latina that comes to mind?
I don't listen to Afro-Latino.
All right, cool.
So you asked the wrong person.
But what about just the Latin presence though? If I'm in Miami, you can say Miami, and I'm not arguing it is one of the largest Afro-Latina places. That's cool.
Yeah.
But just a Latin presence.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I do think that there was a good job done to represent that Latin presence. Period. While you're in Miami,
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. Man, I might be 5,000% sure. Because from the conversations I've had with other Latinos, Latinx people, that when they think of their music, they don't think of Shakira or like J-Lo. 100%, through 2,000%.
I think that's why Bad Bunny was there. They love Bad Bunny.
I think
Bad Bunny is like the biggest name. Bad Bunny is like Bad Bunny makes albums that are not even in English.
Okay, right.
Yet and still he gets on English networks and he sings his Spanish music. Bad Bunny is like
Bad Bunny is he's that dude. He's that
so
dude.
you had Bad Bunny.
He should have headlined more. He would have been a more respectable headliner than Shakira and what's called.
You're not gonna have an artist for 17 minutes. It's 17 minutes to go?
Now talk your stuff. Keep going.
I'm asking for 17 minutes?
No, 13. Keep going.
All right, do you think that the NFL would have signed off to have an artist up there for 13 minutes singing nothing but Spanish to this almost predominantly white audience?
He has English in his songs too.
I ain't never heard of English Bad Bunny. And again, I don't listen that much Bad Bunny, but I've listened to enough. There's always in Spanish. I don't know.
Now, if I told you that at the All-Star game in the whitest of white cities,
Bad Bunny rapped,
the headliner would be who?
In the whitest of white cities?
Yeah.
Give me a white city.
Utah. Salt Lake City, sorry.
It's gonna be in Utah this year.
Yeah. Who would you think would be a headliner?
It's the NBA, so it's definitely gonna be somebody black.
In Utah, Salt Lake City.
It's definitely gonna be somebody black.
So what if I told you it was 2 Nigerians?
Somebody black.
Hold up. What if I told you it was 2 Nigerians?
Is it Burna Boy?
Yes.
Oh man, hold up, man. I'm fucking
Tim's.
Burna Boy.
You finna have.
There's gonna be a lot of scamming going on that night, but you wanna know what the difference is?
What's the difference?
I can understand some of it.
Because you might have a closer relation to it.
I'm just saying, bro.
I agree with you. No, I'm saying,
but the other
I'm
piece
saying that
is
you can't
the
go
NBA.
outside of, but you
can.
But it's Salt Lake City, bro. Like at any time you wanted to come and bring in your country or your not so dark, this would be a perfect time to do it. This would be
but who gonna be there? Like I'm finna have said
watch.
I'm finna have said Mormon artist playing his ukulele in front of all these rappers with these Miami Cubans on.
But I can't.
No.
But I can't. But listen, what I'm saying. Those rappers and guys with those Cubans on, they don't mean nothing to the big picture, bro. The big picture is Sony and Coke and
now you're talking.
And these big companies, right?
Now you're talking.
And so now if I know for a fact that
we're bringing it full circle.
Now if I know for a fact that country music outsells all this,
yeah.
So and I have this lily white platform.
Yep.
There's no problem to bring the Dixie Chicks or to bring what's his name, Tennessee Whiskey Dude, to bring him to perform.
Well, that's why they perform in NASCAR.
But what I'm saying is the NBA could have came and went for the 100% money play, and when got these other guys to it's Utah. This is the spirit of this community. Utah is not known for their Nigerian influence in their community. We're going to stay true to the community and play music and have performance.
But the NBA is bringing their hip hop influence, and that's why you're going to get a Burna Boy performing at NBA All-Star game in the middle of Utah.
You think Coke give a fuck about the hip hop experience?
I think Coke gives a fuck about Burna Boy and the name that he is internationally. Yes.
You think that Coke gives a fuck about the hip hop Burna Boy when I can have the same exact numbers with 3 country artists?
Burna Boy is a big name though, because
he's a huge name.
Now you're crossing waters, bro.
So is country.
Burna Boy is crossing some waters that not your local. Burna Boy is crossing some waters that your country western Grammy Award winning guitarist isn't crossing.
So what you're saying is
100%, and you can't say that's
my question is, your consensus, or you're implying that Coke and these larger companies couldn't have found 3 acts that were not that were white that could have been of equal or more earning power of Burna Boy.
I'm not sure how we got here, but I would think that these companies are also in line with the culture of said game.
I just asked you.
And I think the NBA. I've answered it a couple of times. The NBA has a culture of hip hop. You have Burna Boy, one of the biggest international acts there is right now. So yes, the Coke or whoever else that you're trying to bring up, yeah, okay, cool. My product is going to be seen across the waters. I think that Burna Boy is a bigger international name than maybe, I don't know, one of your hottest country western singers, simply because Burna Boy is hot in the States, he's hot in Africa, he's hot in London, he's hot in Europe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Is all these places internationally, Burna Boy 100% is hot. Now, the Dixie Chicks in their prime was hot in the States. I don't know if they was hot in Africa. I don't know if they was hot in Europe. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's an assumption.
I'm just saying, no, but it's fact that Burna Boy is hot in Africa.
Yeah, it's a fact.
And he's hot in the States. He's hot in Europe. Like, that's a fact, bro.
It's also a fact that you're not sure if the Dixie Chicks were hot in Europe, right?
I'm not sure, but I know for a fact that this guy is.
So because you know that this information and you're unprivy to that information, that makes this information.
Well, you don't even know about Afro-Latinos,
I'm asking you a question.
You can name one.
I'm asking you a question. You're trying to divert from my question.
I'm not diverting it off.
Then
I asked the question already.
No, because that's why I'm giggling over here, because I almost hit you with the dub move, but I'm gonna
ask your question, man. I be sick and tired of this penis swinging content.
What you mean? No, I ain't said nothing, bro.
I'm telling you, ask the question.
I'm going back to what you just said just now. I'm taking it in, listening, because when I asked you a question,
JB,
how you gonna tell me how to?
I'm just asking you to ask the question.
But let me cook, man.
Ask the question.
Let me cook, man. I asked you a question about something, and it was a very direct question, and you told me you didn't give me a yes no answer. You gave me your version of how you saw it, which is great and wonderful. I had no problem with it. It just tickled me to see that happen. What I'm saying is, like you said, you don't know if you don't know what Dixie Chicks numbers were in that time.
Dixie Chicks weren't international actors.
Why not? How do you know?
They weren't.
How do you know?
They weren't an international act.
How do you know?
They weren't an international act in Africa.
How do you know?
Because they weren't.
Bro, do you know that country music is huge in Africa, bro?
I understand that country music is huge in Africa.
So how you going to say they weren't huge in Africa?
The Dixie Chicks weren't as big as Burna Boy is in Africa.
But you don't know.
I do know.
How?
I know that.
How
the Dixie Chicks because it's been talked about in music that Burna Boy is one of the bigger artists that we've seen outside of the Michael Jacksons, the Princes, and all of those who have crossed international stardom. That's fact.
But the fact is that you have no idea what Dixie Chicks' influence was in Africa.
You're right. I don't.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is, as somebody of African descent, I can tell you for a fact that the records my mom and her contemporary listened to were Jim Reeves and Conway Twitty.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? As well as James Brown. So there's a huge country music fan base outside of the U.S.
Now, I didn't argue that, though. I never argued that.
I'm saying, but you don't know, and I don't know, but you don't know for 100%.
But you don't know, so don't put the sauce on it. So if we both don't know.
So how you? But I'm not deflating the Dixie Chicks' influence on the world. You're saying, no, they wasn't that big. I'm like, I don't know. I know they was huge.
Again, you're taking bits and pieces of it. Of what I said. So what I really said was Burna Boy is an international success.
Yeah, and so is this shit.
Time out. You talked about all of these these sponsors now.
Yeah.
And they're pick of the litter.
Yeah.
If I'm in Utah,
yeah,
I can pick a country western guy. I can do all of this. I can do my promotion. All I said was I don't think that there's a country music star that is as big as Burna Boy is internationally right now.
And that's
not me saying that country music stars aren't international stars.
But so what we're saying is that, in your opinion, you feel like Burna Boy was there's not a country star that has the international success that Burna Boy has right now. Am I correct?
As the name, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's fair. That's fair. And I'm just saying that I don't know. But I'm also saying that I don't think that if Coke or if one of these, if the four biggest sponsors of the NBA said, man, we want to have XYZ, and that would have happened.
Of course it would.
I think
if they wanted a country star, of course they would have a country star. Yeah.
I think that what you're saying has validity to it, because I don't think I think that the industry that goes around the sub industry, not the big companies, but the smaller companies, or the day-to-day stuff that's happening in Utah, those people are dictating more why you're having a Burna Boy more than the NBA, because just throwing a name, Rick Ross is saying Utah, man, I ain't going to Utah. I don't care who is throwing. I ain't going to Utah. My ancillary monies is coming from this. Talk about my walkthroughs and my group stuff and my partnerships that I'm gonna have come through. They ain't making no money in Utah, so I ain't going to Utah. When they say Atlanta, like, hell yeah, I'm doing Atlanta, because I know I'm gonna make my front end and my back end. I can get my up and coming stars up under me to make they so and so. My other businesses I have on the side that are doing things as far as my limos and my so and so's, and they can all make money because we're familiar with this market. But Utah, no. So I'll get an international star who, when he comes in, all he's getting, his main focus is getting that big bop. And I might have a couple of walkthrough, but I'm not so concerned as much as a local or as much as a United States artist is with going to a market like that to get paid. I think that's more a dictation of who gets on that show than us saying, I want international look.
I just think that it's a committee, just like it is for the NFL. And this committee chose Burna Boy for the viewership. I don't think the actual local walkthrough environment of people and their music culture dictated who that person would be.
Oh, so you think that they don't? You think that they don't have an idea that?
I think it was looked at on a bigger scale with some of your bigger companies. I don't think it was looked at on a local scale with some of the local industry. I think it was looked at on a bigger scale of what the NBA is as a whole, what our culture is, and who we market to, and that culture, and that's how they chose this young man.
I mean, that sounds good.
I'm not saying that there's no truth to what you're saying, but I'm saying when you look at when they went to Cleveland and they did a hometown guy, who got up there?
I don't remember.
I'll tell you who got up there.
Yeah.
One, Machine Gun Kelly.
Okay.
Machine Gun Kelly did a rock song, which, I'm not a rock guy. I listened to the song. It was a decent song. I had no issue with it. And, it was just like, who's that? Why is he performing at this halftime? Well, he didn't even do halftime. He did like this big old pregame thing. And it was like, who was this guy?
It was in Cleveland, right?
They were in Cleveland. The home of Machine Gun Kelly.
When they were in Miami, who was the Miami artist came out?
All-Star? Man, I don't know who came out.
When you're in Houston, you're going to have a Houston artist, right?
No one said that.
I'm just asking. It's pretty much assumed that when you go to a major city, you're going to have somebody from that city.
Well, you brought up Miami, so I thought you knew. Who was Miami?
Miami, they didn't have nobody. That's what I'm trying to say.
So there was no performer in Miami?
Well, I might be switching a little bit, but in the Super Bowl.
Switching it up.
The Super Bowl.
We ain't talking about Super Bowl. We're talking about the All-Star.
Yeah. Well, All-Star Miami, I can't think that far back.
Who was here in Houston?
In Houston, I know Bun B performed for sure. Slim Thug, everybody did. Paul Wall had something. I want to say, didn't they do a medley?
That sounded like the rodeo.
I'm talking about for the All-Star game last time. They did a medley.
I'm not sure. You talking about the actual official halftime show?
No, I'm talking about because they have.
No, I know they have concert series.
No, they have 4 shows. Like they have a pregame show.
Yeah.
They have the singer. Like Post Malone is doing something too. They have they got
Post Malone doing somewhere in Utah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
They have a pregame.
Oh, so you didn't sell
host. They have a main, and I think they have a It's like 4. They have like 5 performers. They do. Those are the main performers that are associated with the NBA.
Well, time out. You know what? You're right. No, I don't want to.
You don't think
another 15-minute conversation about
what? Nobody from Houston did nothing that year?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh, I wasn't even
talking about that.
Oh, okay. You think Post Malone was a white boy? They had to put some white in there?
Oh, man, I don't want to be that guy.
I don't know. It seemed like it. I don't know. I'm not against it or for it. I'm just like...
I'm not against it at all. I have no issue with Post Malone.
Me either.
I have no issue with mayonnaise music.
I do.
You got an issue with everything.
No, I'm saying...
What you drinking right there?
Oh, I don't want to tell people what I got.
Tell them what the guy. You got Dole lemonade.
See, man, no, it's Dolly.
Is that a better lemonade than a Simply lemonade?
It's about the same. I'm not a fan of having all the little lemonade sperm in my sperm.
Lemonade sperm in your sperm. It's called Pope, and it's from fresh squeezed lemons.
Yeah, but they can drain it out.
They can if they want to. If they want you to feel like They want you to feel like
You got little sperms in your mouth, man. No,
little sperm. Okay. Hey man, what you think about all these UFOs?
I think it's. I want to say something about Post Malone, bro.
And by the way, you were wrong when you argued me down in my kitchen about how the balloon entered on the East Coast, and I knew you were wrong, but I chose not to engage in the argument. I knew I 100%, 1000% knew that the balloon entered on the West Coast. I knew that shit.
Yeah.
I 100% knew it came over through the West Coast. Because it flew over Middle America, Wyoming, and all of that, which I told you. And I said they chose not to shoot it down over Middle America, and then they shot it down over the Carolinas.
What I
was
say?
Like, man, that's the East Coast. You know, it's East Coast. It came in over there. It just barely touched the United States. And I was like, no, it flew over the entire United States. And I told you certain sites it flew over. And then you argued me down about it entered through the East Coast, and I just said, okay.
And I said, no, I didn't argue down.
Yes, you did. I said
no. I said what I had read. And you know what? You were right. It did come over West Carolina. You're right.
But you know what? That doesn't matter.
What you mean?
Right or wrong doesn't matter. Yeah. I would like to know how you feel about these UFOs.
I don't know, man. Are they UFOs, bro? I don't know.
Well, technically, there are UFOs.
That's right. Yeah. Technically,
I don't mean when I say I'm not like some of these crazy conspiracy theorists. I don't believe that little green Martians who are parked behind Saturn chose to like deploy small balloons over the United States for a week. Mm-hmm. I don't think that. But technically, anything that is unidentifiable flying in an object is a UFO. So how do you feel about these things? What do you think the purpose is?
I think that it's layered. It's layered, and it's layered in the way that's being told to the people, and the way that it's being, because like just simply saying it's a UFO is almost like why are you saying it? Not you. I'm saying, why are you presenting it like that?
Because that's what it is, though.
Yeah, but
100%. It's not the media or the government's fault that most people are uneducated on what a UFO is.
No, it's 100%. It is 125% fault, the media and the government's fault.
No, it's not.
If I perpetuate, you remember what they did in the 50s with the UFOs, right? Are you familiar with how they projected that, a UFO is and that made it seem like in the world, they promoted.
Well, that was Hollywood, though.
That's what I'm saying. This is Hollywood and the government promoted this way of thinking so that now, 50 years later, when you hear UFO, the normal response in the United States is to think an alien. Like we've been inundated with this information, so we can't say the government is not. Yeah, it's definitely their fault. It's 100%. They didn't come out and be like, nah, man.
The government isn't coming out saying that. I think they're like the news people.
Exactly.
The government is saying now they will when you listen to when the government speaks, mm-hmm. they will say that this balloon is a balloon. Could be a weather balloon. It could be something else. Even with the thing that they shot over recently over Alaska, and they did say it's an unidentified flying object.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how smart you have to be to understand that the UFO was an acronym for unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
Is that the right word, acronym?
No, it may be.
Now, there is a different classification if you get deep into it, where you have different classifications of UFOs, where you have UFOs that are built on world and UFOs that are built off world.
That's right.
Now, I don't know why the government has that specific classification.
Yeah.
Maybe they know something we don't know.
I think that's why I had this conversation yesterday about the same, like you just said, about the way we word things and the way we say it. And it came out boot cuts and bell bottoms, right?
You came out with boot cuts and bell bottoms?
No. I saw somebody with some bell bottoms on, and they're like, no, I'm boot cuts. I was like, huh? Like, no, because bell bottoms are this and boot. I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, a UFO, you're right. A UFO encompasses, it's the big thing that encompasses all these things, right? And then when you start breaking it down and getting more detailed, you have on world, off world. You have, you can break down the classifications more. But the general public, and we have to always think the general public doesn't always have the need to know the difference between what a on-world or off-world UFO are, right? You know,
but the general public should know that UFO is an unidentified flying object. So it's anything. If me and you build a rocket ship in my backyard right now,
yeah,
and then we go fly that bitch to Miami,
yeah.
When it's seen, that's a UFO.
But I know that, but the general public generally wouldn't look at it in that sense because we've been told, we've been propagated, we've been propaganded, if that's a word, that UFO means a spaceship.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
With that means, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's
if I was saying,
do you feel like it's a distraction? Do you feel like someone's really trying to spy on us? Is trying to get some intel? Is it all just a hoax? What do you think?
I mean, I have an issue with the word distraction, but not from you, but just when people use it in general. But I think it's just, I think it's progress. I think it's progress in technology, and just as we move along in this world, in this digital world, and there are things that were commonplace that we weren't privy of, and we're going to become more and more privy of more and more things because there's more and more ways for us to get data and see things. So things that happen, like we've been seeing chemtrails for the last 30 years, and people are just now be like, oh man, well, you know, they're shooting rockets. Like they've been doing that forever. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we haven't had the access and the ability to actually go and be like, oh, that's what that is, or you know, just it's so, like right now we're under attack by aliens because they saw a chemical explosion in, what was that, Cleveland, or in what was it?
Somebody said we were under attack by aliens because of the train derailment.
Yeah, 100% because of the look.
Somebody said that we were under attack by aliens because of the train derailment.
100% because of the look. Because you see the picture, you see the explosion, and like, oh, that's the what's called. That's the aliens attacking. Like literally, I've seen that.
This is the first time I've heard that take.
I've seen
aliens are attacking us because of a train derailment.
I've seen it 100 times. I've seen it way more than 10 times.
You gotta stop talking to these people.
It's not talking, it's seeing it.
Where did you see it on?
I've seen it on Reddit. I've seen it on Facebook. I've seen it on Instagram. I've seen it.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop engaging.
But
you gotta stop engaging in thumb conversations with these people.
I'm not talking. I'm just seeing
these people on Reddit who believe that the train derailment was an attack by aliens.
But I mean,
my left brain guys are
that's,
like,
I don't know. That's not far fetched, bro. That line of thinking is not far fetched because we live in the same society where people think like, shit, I need to have a gun to walk to the store. So how is that far off of thinking? Like,
well, I mean, when we live in a society where people are getting robbed daily.
What have not people not get robbed daily, bro?
And people have always had weapons to protect themselves. So if you're telling me
what gun Jesus have?
You're telling me the same line of thinking. That is so stupid.
What gun did the apostles have? What weapon did the apostles walk around with?
Who?
The apostles. What weapons did they walk around with?
They didn't have guns then, bro.
What weapons? I said, what weapons did they walk around with?
They had like slingshots back then. They probably had a sword or something.
Ask you a question. Something. What weapon has it been documented?
Time out.
I mean, let me finish. Let me finish.
No,
let me finish. Just let me finish my statement.
No, man.
Let me finish. What weapon is it documented that the apostles walked around with?
I don't know, bro.
Have you ever heard a story about the apostles? Or, you know, when it got real, so-and-so pulled a sword out.
I don't know, bro.
I'm just asking the question. It's not, I don't know. It's have you ever heard of
my answer is I don't know because I don't know about these stories. I haven't heard these stories.
Oh, you haven't heard these stories?
My
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
So you've never heard these stories? What are you saying?
My answer is I don't know. I know that every apostle was an apostle. Some of them were warriors at one time. One of them was actually someone who went around beheading Christians. And I forget who was who and what was what. What I'm saying is, if you're asking me, have I ever read a story in the Bible where it was some shit going down and the apostle pulled out his weapon and was like, hey man, let's go. You want the smoke? No, I've not heard that.
So
I've heard stories about Cain slewing Abel. I've heard stories about other things inside the Bible.
Yeah.
We know that the Crusades were pretty much Templar Knights protecting Christians on their pilgrimage to the Holy Land. We know that's fact, and we know those Templar Knights were just warriors for hire. So we're not going to say that there isn't. I'm not going to sit here and say that the same people who believe aliens attacked Earth,
yeah,
and blew up a train in Ohio?
Yeah, I think so.
Are the same people who believe I need a gun to go to the store
It's not
and to
what I
protect
said.
myself from leaving the house and coming back. That's
not what I said.
That's not the same.
I said that.
That's not even the same reference point.
No, I didn't say that. I said that
You definitely 100% said.
I said it's not that far fetched thinking. If somebody can think that, like these ways of thinking that one person is laugh at, the same way that you'll laugh at one certain way of thinking, somebody will laugh at that way because to them it's ridiculous. Like you think it's ridiculous. I'm not saying that either one of us right. See, you think it's ridiculous, but I can tell you for a fact.
It is ridiculous to think that the aliens are bombing Cleveland.
Why is it ridiculous to think I can't walk to the store without a gun then?
You can't believe that.
I'm asking you why is one ridiculous and one not?
You're right.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, bro. I'm just saying
I'm agreeing with you. I'm
Yeah.
saying okay, I agree.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the look of it from what we've been propagated, from what we've been I keep saying that word, I don't know if it's right. From what we've been shown and told in over the last 40 years. And if I've been shown 1,000 images of this thing right here, and this image has equal to this, and now I see this, and then I equate the two. That's not ridiculous.
All right, cool. All right, now back to my original question.
Yeah,
was how do you feel about it?
And I said it. I started to say it again. I'm like, man, it's like the way it's being told, the way that it's being pushed out there is not responsible. Like I said, it's not responsible because it's like leveled. It's almost like the person who went to Harvard, who's from the country, and then come back to the country and then talks to the people a certain type of way, knowing that certain words are going to be kind of out of their wheelhouse and it's going to evoke certain emotions or certain ways out of them. And so, and then when they act that way, they play off of that. You know, that's what it seemed like to me. It's like, it's a word. I can't think of the word what it is. I don't want to say gaslighting or one of these new but there's a word for that. But it's like, it's like I said the first time, it's just some of these things have been happening for the longest, but we haven't had a way to quantify or even see them. And now we can see them. And, you know, if I don't have a knowledge of these things, I'm going to go by what I know and call it what I know. And then the people who have an understanding of it are going to be like, that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But people are like, man, how you crazy? You know what I'm saying? It's like, really, it's like the unknowledgeable and knowledgeable are not meeting in the middle. One is staying over here and one's staying over there.
Bell bottoms versus boot cuts.
Yeah.
There is a difference, but I understand your logic. Bell bottoms and boot cuts in theory are the same thing.
Yeah.
However, bell bottoms are much larger towards the bottom than boot cuts. Boot cuts are slightly larger. But in theory, they're the same.
That's what I'm saying.
They are
I
slightly
agree.
different, though.
I agree they're different, but they're not totally different. In fact,
Same concept.
Same concept. That's what I was saying. I was saying it's the same concept. It's just one is a new twist on the old concept.
Would you rock bell bottoms?
I ain't never rock bell bottoms. I know I wouldn't. What do you mean, like from the knee down or from the ankle down?
Well, from the ankle down a boot cut. From the knee down is bell bottoms. So
What I'm saying is,
it would have to be from the knee down to be bell bottoms.
so nah, I wouldn't rock either.
No.
Because I feel like that whole, like I said,
I feel like you've had boot cut jeans before.
I ain't never worn boots. I mean, okay, so if I had a pair of boots, I want them Jodeci style and flip my pants into the boots. I have never in my lifetime put on a pair of cowboy boots. I don't think I ever will too. I love
cowboy boots. I've owned several pair of cowboy boots. So I've owned boot cut jeans before.
Yeah, I've never because in my mind, and this is an example of the informed and the non-informed speaking. When I think of boots, first thing I think about is like some Timbs or some work boots. I don't even think about cowboy boots.
Now, when you say boots, first thing I think of is cowboy boots. Second thing I think of is like polo boot style or Timberland style.
See, yeah, I don't. Cowboy boots don't even.
But see, you can't even say work boots because I can get some cowboy style work boots, which are my favorite when I work. Like when I was working in the plants.
Oh, you talking about the?
I always had the cowboy style work boots.
Yeah, I don't think people wear them.
What? You don't think what?
Nah, them some big old boots, man. Them big old boots, man. The cowboy boots, the cowboy style work boots. They make your feet look big.
Nah, they literally cowboy boots with
the work bottoms, right?
They're literally not the work bottom you think of. So they're literally cowboy boots, with the same type of bottom that cowboy boots are, except they're slip resistant, and you got steel toe, and you can get them pointed or square, just like you can any other cowboy boot.
I'm not familiar with cowboy boot.
I know.
I'm just thinking when I think about the cowboy style work boots, I think about the kind that come out right here, right?
They're cowboy boots.
Okay, they have the ones that I'm thinking of. Like I said, uninformed talking to the forum are the ones that have the cowboy top and the Timberland, just the heel and the is like the work, like the construction site work boot bottom. Yeah,
I wouldn't say they like the doubled up Timberland style. I would say that they're literally cowboy style soles, but they're slip resistant and rubber. So okay, they probably are a little bit thicker than your traditional cowboy. Well, they are thicker than your traditional cowboy boot sole. But it's pretty much the same boot. Like you can have some cowboy boots and then some cowboy style work boots, and you can sit them side by side, and they pretty much look the same.
Oh, like I said, I've never in my lifetime wanted.
Have you actually?
I have to ask my mom.
How many pair of work boots have you had in your life? Like legit steel toe. I need work boots.
Probably 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to say I never had no work boots on or something.
That ain't what I said.
I don't know. I feel like
you're too deep into it.
What you mean? What? How you guys? How many work?
I mean, I've never known you to work in the industry where you have to have steel toes, though. And that's not a knock. That's just that's not an industry. I've never known you to work in the industry where you have to have like legit work boots.
Steel toe boots.
Yeah, steel toe, composite toe, whatever toe you want. Like work boots. Like I go work at a plant or.
I ain't gonna say where I work at, man. So I'm
not telling you to say. I'm just saying I've never known you to have an industrial type job. Which is not a knock.
For the last 3 years, one of my industries is I had to work boots. Oh, I'm supposed to wear work boots.
You probably wear. You probably wear tennis shoes though.
Sometimes, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, you go wear the tennis shoes until you drop some and chop off the first 2 toes.
I know I ain't gonna drop nothing.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. You ain't gonna drop nothing.
That's how you avoid that.
Accidents don't happen in Young Jamez Boogie's life.
Man, I try not to. Nah, I mean, I don't want. Yeah, I can say that. I try to like sometimes in any job, whether there's work boots involved or not, I try to assess whether this thing might chop my toes off, and if there's a chance it might chop my toes off, I'm gonna think like, you know what? I don't know if I signed up for this. I don't think I should be doing this, man. I'm like, let me get somebody who likes taking the risk of getting their toes chopped off to do this. Yep. I'll go do this paperwork or something.
I've worked in the industry where I've had to have the work boots on, and the steel toe or safety toe boot has saved my foot a couple of times.
Yeah.
And it was me being the most cautious of cautious. Hey, look, sometimes people around you do shit.
Yeah, that too.
And that happened to me once. Someone around me mishandled some things, and a cylinder-like part came tumbling down the aisle unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
And I turned around, and it was like, bloop, and hit my boot.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the safety toe, said toes would be crushed.
Every day I go to work, I just look for that first scratch or that first, I'm going to get a scratch or something. And once I get a first scratch, I'm like, okay, boom. That usually reminds me to get on note, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, yeah, you can have something happen to you. So I'm happy when that first scratch, I'm like, okay, dang, okay, boom, boom, let's go, okay, whatever, other people be like, oh man, I got my scratch, or oh man, I got my finger, I jammed my finger or the thing. I'm like, oh, okay, boo, got myself, okay, boom, let's go, Now I know I'm on note. That's interesting though, what you said that though, because accidents happen to everybody, man. Some people are accident prone though. Some people aren't.
It do seem like I don't believe in good or bad luck.
Yeah,
I don't, but I do think that some people are magnets for just like bad luck.
I think sometimes it like I
think it's clumsiness, but
I think it's also a perspective of like sometimes people be having their mind on other stuff, man. And so like they become magnets for bad stuff happening to them because they in some other aspect of life or their mind is never on what they doing.
Did you say it's also like perception? Is that what you just said?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so I think it's perception too, because I think sometimes stuff can happen, and people be like, I just got bad luck, because something happened.
Yeah.
And then you have like I try to be positive, so something can happen.
Yeah.
And instead of me saying, damn, I got bad luck, I kind of look at, all right, what happened? All right, cool. Well, how can I prevent that next time?
Yeah.
And, what can I do for this not to happen again? And I kind of analyze like, all right, well, what did I do for that situation to even happen?
Yeah. What if you do nothing?
Oh, sometimes you just don't do nothing. Sometimes you just, I didn't do anything to cause said situation.
Yeah.
There was no way I could prevent said situation.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, it just was a bad deal for that day or for that week or whatever, and you see it and you move on. Like you can't harp on it. Me harping on that situation isn't gonna change it.
Yeah.
So I just try to take what I can take from it and then move on. Some people be like, God damn it, I got bad luck again. God damn it, my wife left me again for the 10th time. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You might be picking the wrong woman, bro.
You might need to stop getting married.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Married.
See, that's what I would analyze. I would say, yo, I ain't getting married no more.
Or, you're right. I don't know. I don't know. Like a lot of things, like I said, sometimes it's just the way we look at things. Like I said, maybe it's perception. Like normally when something happens, that's just the catalyst of, it's the crescendo of a situation, right? Like this thing might happen. It might be, it might be crescendoed, or it might peak here, and this thing happens, and it might be life shattering. But there was lots of shit that happened up to get there.
Yeah, you saw the red flags.
Not even for that thing. I'm saying this thing might happen right here. It might be blindsiding you, but there were things that were happening. You know what I'm saying? Going to that point that might not even connected with that. There might be some over here, like, and it, you see it, you're like, oh damn, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? So
a lot of times when I go through a difficult process, whatever, whether if it's with a job, personal life, whatever, once I hit the peak of that situation, when I look back at stuff, I'm like, oh man, I kind of, there were some telltale signs.
yeah,
Like when finally that girl stabs you in your right arm,
yeah,
and you got to go to the ER, and then you choose to leave, like she did slice my tires 3 months ago. She did try to put some arsenic in my drink last year. She did try to, smother me that one night, and she said it was a kink.
I'm on a different note. I'll be on some like I don't know if you believe in like, universe and, us all being intertwined and connected, and energies just being flowing, we're all just energy flowing through here, however it goes. So like,
no, I ain't got that high yet, but I'm not knocking it though.
Yeah, I'm just saying like sometimes like it hits you in different ways. You might be late to this, or somebody might, it might be something that's like totally. You might be a different person. It might be you see a dog get hit in the street, like dang, you know what I'm saying? And that energy is in the air, so you have to be able to like, damn, okay, shit, it's out there now.
I can 100% agree with that. Like, when I was in the dating game, I was going out on a date with a young lady, and like, I had so many roadblocks that night. Like just weird nonsense happening.
Yeah.
My car ain't start for a minute, and then got the car to start, and some other like weird shit happened. It kind of deterred me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it's too much bad shit going on with this broad. Let me go ahead and just this ain't gonna work out. All right. Yep. So
my car was. My car don't start, man. I'm not even. They call that janky.
But see, now at the time, though, at the time, it was the car I had.
And it was always doing that.
If you never had a car with rules, then you never lived.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was one of the rules I didn't follow when starting said car.
Oh, okay. I think my car got rules now. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So if you never had a car with rules, you never lived. Man, that might be it, bro. Unless you got something else, man.
Oh, it's something else to happen, man. Okay. Okay, Kyrie Irving got traded. Kevin Durant got traded.
Yeah, I saw that coming. Suns wanted both of them, but it ain't work out that way. They traded home into Dallas out of spite because they ain't want to trade into LA. That's funny.
That makes sense though.
Yeah, it do make sense. You can't tell me where to send you. No, I send you where I want to send you.
No, I don't know about that one, but I would say I go all the way back to say the Beard came out and said, I don't look so crazy no more now, do I?
About what?
About him leaving the Nets.
Oh, I don't think he was crazy when he left the Nets.
No, I'm not saying you did, but I'm saying there was a large contingency of people who were like, blaming him and saying that he's this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, man, I saw this the day I got there, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, that's why I had to get out of there. And then sometimes this has got less to do with Harden and more to do with just people living so much in the moment and not living in. If you think about it, man, the Nets have been a shit show for some decades, bro. The Nets have been like, and there's certain things that's been certain, like the Nets have been like, they was a shit show when they went and got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and them. Like, that didn't make no sense, man.
I feel like the last time the Nets truly was good was when they was in New Jersey. I feel like them New Jersey teams won the shit show with Jason Kidd and
Vince Carter and
Vince
Kenny
Carter.
Martin.
Yeah. I feel like that New Jersey Nets organization was fire. I feel like once they moved to Brooklyn and
it was the J Kidd. To me, I think it wasn't that they were still, cause like you gotta think they didn't have some pieces over. They didn't have some pieces over there, bro. They didn't have some pieces over there for some. I mean, over the last 50 years, they didn't have Drazen Petrovic, even though he passed away. But they had Derek Coleman. They had Kenny Anderson. They didn't have some pieces over there, and just kind of pissed it away different kind of ways. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just. Like,
who did Jason Kidd and them lose to?
I lost to the Lakers, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was somebody from the West, whoever it was, yeah. But I mean, I think it was more Jason Kidd being that stabilizing force, and like if you know everywhere he goes, no matter what's going on. And this is a good segue to get out of here. But a lot of times people look at the immediate contributors to a situation, be like, oh, it's this, you know what I mean? Well, he's a basketball player, but like, you got a whole GM office, and you got two different offices that have to work in cohesion with you to make this work. If they own some other stuff, you know what I'm saying, you got to have somebody. It takes somebody like Jason Kidd, it take a great point guard to be able to not only be on the court but get off the court and convince, hey, come on, Vince, man, I know these niggas tripping, man, but I got you, bro. If we win this ring, man, they ain't got nothing to say. We can get out of here with the ring, Like, you got Jason Rich, you got Richard Jefferson, Vince Carter, Kenyon Martin, Aaron Williams, Jason Kidd, and a couple, like, you know what I'm saying? That really ain't no finals team, bro. But they went twice, you know what I'm saying? And
I mean, you got Jason Kidd and Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Damn. Vince Carter played a long ass time.
Mm-hmm. That was his second deal. He was Toronto for 4.
I mean, he was Air Canada, so by the time he got to New Jersey, he was in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that was prime Vince Carter?
I think it was prime in Canada.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, that wasn't prime Vince Carter in New Jersey. He still was gorilla dunking on people. And then you know what I'm talking about? You had Jason Kidd, who probably is the original point guard outside of Isaiah.
Jason Kidd is a great.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a good point guard. I want to say point guard.
I mean, and I am a fan of Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you're calling Chris Paul the point guard,
mm-hmm.
One of Oakland's finest is definitely a point guard as well.
Can't shoot though, man. He couldn't shoot.
I mean,
mm-hmm.
Chris Paul just now started learning how to shoot.
I'm not gonna do co-ed. See,
you don't even like Chris Paul.
So that means I can't tell this man was 20-something a game in with the Hornets, man. And he wasn't. He was getting it from the perimeter. He was getting it all kind of ways. But
yeah, I'm still mad at Chris Paul because he got hurt that year. That's all.
Yeah. I'm not against Chris Paul.
I like Chris Paul.
I'm not a fan of Chris Paul. He nice.
I'm a fan of Chris Paul.
Look. So first off, I'm a fan.
I'm just mad that he got hurt the one season we probably could have beat Golden State.
I'm a fan of probably every NBA player.
No, I'm not.
I'm a fan of it because I understand what to get there, and I try to see why they got there. Like, okay, he got a jumper. Oh,
but that's respect. I respect every player in the NBA because even the sorriest people who play in the NBA can do shit I can never do. So I respect them for getting to the NBA.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I am not a fan of every player in the NBA.
I wouldn't go far to say you do shit I can never do.
It's some dudes in the league right now will run circles around you. And they can't even score. Yeah. And they can't score 4 buckets.
Now. But I mean,
Boogie in his prime. It's some dudes that Boogie prime Boogie will get circles ran around him, and they like sit next to the Gatorade pitcher every game.
That's not true.
100%.
Because the guy, it was some guys who was sitting by the Gatorade who I was giving buckets to. So several times.
What's that one dude who played for the Spurs who only could go right?
For the Spurs?
Yeah, he was a point guard for the Spurs, and we was trying to figure out how the hell he stayed in the league so many years, bro.
The Spurs?
The Spurs.
The San Antonio Spurs.
The San Antonio Spurs.
They don't even sound like something Pop would do.
Yeah,
you think Papa, a player, can go one way only?
Bro, I'm telling you, bro.
The San Antonio Spurs.
It wasn't Shamgar. I don't know why I want to say Shamgar. Shamgar would run circles around you. It wasn't Shamgar.
What's wrong? I don't think you forget how much of a problem I was. I am.
God Shamgar would run, puny Boogie would run circles around.
You know I'm taller than God Shamgar. You know that, right?
Height don't mean nothing. It got nothing to do with it.
But longevity means something, but height don't mean nothing.
Yes, longevity means something. Height doesn't mean anything.
Okay. You know I'm taller than him, right? I'm just saying, I'm taller.
There are a lot of people that were taller than Allen Iverson, and what happened?
Yeah, he was an all-time great.
All right, then.
But I'm saying Shamgar, not an all-time great. 2, like...
He was an all-time college great, though. Or street legend. Which one is it? He got all-time great behind his name at some point.
No, he had to move, man. That's really it.
Oh, man.
Like, he wasn't no 20 a game at Wake Forest. A bunch of them, bro.
What move do you have that's named after you?
The Boogie, bro.
Don't nobody know what that is.
Okay. You think so?
When last time they did a documentary about you?
Oh, no. I ain't had docs. But I'm just saying. I mean,
who the fuck was this dude, bro? It's going to come to us. I feel like it's going to, like when the Admiral, when that dude was trying to be a player coach and was too old to be hooping, it was somebody who was behind him. And he only could go right. Like, literally, his job was to cross court and then just pass the ball.
For the Spurs.
For the Spurs.
Oh, that's tough, man. I don't find nothing that
I'm going to find it out. I'm going to find it out, bro. He wasn't no starter, though, bro. He was like, third to the last on the bench, and he would get a little bit of PT.
Greg Pop is known for challenge, like for locking players. Like, he had Stack. He had Jay, the dude, what's his name? Jay, the guy from Houston who, he had Simmons. He had DeJounte Murray. He had Ginobili. Like
I'm gonna find his name out, bro. It was horrible, bro. We used to talk about it.
He's known for taking players who can be wild as fuck.
Matter of fact, the only reason why I even know about this player is because you pointed him out, because you told me you gave him the business in college. I'm gonna figure it out.
Jack Vaughn?
Who?
Jack Vaughn?
Was it Jacques Vaughn? Did Jacques Vaughn play point guard?
Yeah, but he the coach for the Nets right now. He can go left and right.
It wasn't Jacques Vaughn. Did you give Jacques Vaughn the business in college?
I've given a bunch of people business.
Did you give Jacques Vaughn the business
I've given Jacques Vaughn the business a couple times in college.
Do we have video proof?
Probably not. Probably not.
It didn't happen if you didn't see it.
Hey, and that's how people feel, man.
Some people do feel that way.
That's how people feel, man.
I don't feel that way, but some people do feel that way.
I just look, man. I'm still a bucket. I'm a bucket. Man, it's unbelievable. I'll be mad at myself right now. I'll be like, damn, man, maybe I should have just went back to school because I'm a bucket. I'm a bucket, like count it. Man, I'll be mad. I am jealous of the cameras that they have nowadays, and I'll be in the wrong gyms, bro. I'll be in the wrong gym because I have not been to a gym in the last 5 years that I ain't set on fire, bro. I'm talking about, well, maybe 1 or 2.
Every time I see your gym footage of you,
yeah,
it's fuzzy. When I see gym footage of the refereeing and the philanthropy. How you say it?
Philanthropy.
Yeah. When I see those pics and vids, food drive pics. When I see Coach Boogie pics,
because I don't take the picture. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be clear as fuck.
Because normally,
but when I see Boogie is back videos of dunking, it'd be fuzzy. So what I'm saying is, call me next time you want to make a Boogie is back video.
Man, what time? We can go right now we can go right.
Call me when
we can go right now.
Let me finish.
Okay,
I'm not prepared to go to that.
No, you can go. Bring your camera for 15 minutes. Watch me light this gym around the corner on fire.
There's a gym around the corner.
LA Fitness is right on the corner. Yeah,
I don't have an LA Fitness membership.
I do. You can hop on with me, man. I got a membership.
Pause.
You can hop on with me.
Pause.
You can follow me in.
Okay, I like that.
I got a buddy pass, a permanent buddy pass, man, for everybody.
What I'm saying is, I can just go whenever though.
I mean,
do you like LA Fitness?
Yeah, it's live, bro.
It's live. Are they 24 hours?
No, no gym 24 hours no more.
No, the one around Hero Fitness is.
That's a
shameless plugs. I shouldn't be giving these shameless.
That's a
plugs.
Workout gym only though.
24 hours still 24. No, I think they went back. I think the one in Greenway Plaza went back to 24 hours.
Sure, I don't know.
I think so because they sent me some shit. The one in here, that's neither here nor there.
I don't. I'm saying LA Fitness got everything.
What I'm saying is next time, not today, because I got to go to the Burger Bodega. Now tomorrow I'm down.
Man, I gotta go eat, man. What you mean? Oh, you have a meeting at the bodega.
My meeting at the Burger Bodega is with a burger.
Oh,
and then I'm coming back here and I'm gonna do some more work.
I say know why I be fussy though for real, because I don't be thinking to myself I'm gonna record. I don't even have my that'd be my other. That'd be my phone, my backup phone. I be having it with me, and I go in the gym to work. I go work out, and nobody in there, so I just go shoot some film. But I'm gonna start filming on the good phone. So they can see.
Nah, fuck the phone. We can get some action cams. We can strap a rig to your chest and you can get some action cam.
Yeah,
I can get some far away. So it'd be clear for our 16 shot podcast viewers.
All you gotta do is
where they can see live in 4K. The Boogie is back.
All you gotta do is just come to a gym and sit in the corner and be in awe of the shit I do.
Nah, I'm not gonna sit in the corner. I need to be courtside with all my gear so I can document all of it.
They ain't gonna let you in the gym without it, bro.
This they are. I got a press pass.
They ain't let you. No, they ain't let you know the gym with that.
I ain't gonna let me in the gym
because they ain't. No, I'm not saying it for me. I'm just saying what the gyms be saying, because I've been had that idea to go in the gym to the shit, but they like. It's too many other people in there that you have to get sign release, and they have to get sign release and that type of shit. So you can't. They got a size of camera. It's only a size of camera you can bring into the gym.
I got a size of camera I can bring. Into the gym.
And so shit. What you mean?
I'm gonna bring it in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see live. I'm gonna see Boogie back. I want to see Boogie.
I never left.
Dunking. I want to see Boogie dunking on boys. I want to see Boogie with the crossover. I want to see Boogie logo Boogie. I want to see all that.
The dunking part, man. You might see one or two. You might see one of those.
Boo.
Might see one of those because these knees coming down. It ain't. It's going off too. But the boom boom, that part right there, man. That's that high impact on the patella tendon is not what it used to be. But besides that, shit, I gonna get buckets, man.
All right. So we've learned a lot today. We've learned that Boogie is Barry Sanders over Emmitt. Okay.
100%.
100%. I'm Emmitt over Barry. We found out that Boogie feels like the government and the news networks need to be more responsible when they're reporting about these flying objects over United States airspace. I can agree with that as well. Bell bottoms and boot cut are the same and different at the same time. And Boogie is back, folks. He's never left. He's back. And we're going to get Boogie dunking on a young 23-year-old in 4K. And we're going to dump that in on you guys.
Why you want to embarrass about like that, man?
And also that Boogie enjoys Dole lemonade over Simply Lemonade. This has been another riveting episode of the 16. You know what? You never even asked me the most important question of the day.
What's the name of this podcast?
I'm glad you asked.
Now let's begin the story.
I ain't your average cat. I slap boxing with lions. Ever since the 5th grade, kickball with tires. Made a mini fortune off a ripped off appliance. Money
Nah, bro, it's
back,
comfortable.
dog with irons. Boogie need to find God. Shit, dog,
got on
I'm trying.
shorts.
That's why I robbed the Deacon house. Man, quit your lying. I did it. And
Nah, whoever you texting making it hot for you. Yes.
It's Tony Mac
was
birthday,
us.
man.
It was us. It was the 16 Shots podcast with Young Jamez Boogie. Hey, ArDuBB.
Tell me how you
Tony
took it.
Mac.
I'ma
Happy
tell you
birthday,
what I
Tony
meant.
Mac.
And happy birthday, Tony
The
Mac.
great Tony.
And we out.
No, talking about instruments to get the bitches, man.
Tony Mac.